We don't have any action to take under A or under B. So we're going out to action A, 10 items. Number A, to approve the minutes for the board meetings held on February the 9th, 2006. That was a special meeting. Want to take them all at one time or one by one?
Item A and B?
Well, I mean, we have three of them. We have,
Just A.
Just items A.
well, A, to take the meetings, and then we'll take the meetings only February the 9th, February the 9th, and then February the 16th.
I mean, they're all together, so.
And then the 27th of March.
There's one also on the February the 27th, March 5th, 2006.
If I may, sir, I motion that we do a blanket motion on A, the minutes. I didn't see anything that needs to be corrected.
On which one?
On A, all 5 minutes. The ones for February 9th, February 16th, February 27th, and March 5th. 5 minutes presented, be adopted, be 5 minutes presented, be adopted, be February 9th, there's 2 of them, 2026, February 16th, 2026, February 27th, 2026, March 5th, 2026.
Okay, there's a motion by Mr. Bonilla to approve the minutes of the meetings that he has proposed. I have a second.
I second it.
Second by Mr. Espinosa. Questions, concerns?
For the record, I want to note that on February 27th, I was absent for that meeting, so.
So you're gonna abstain from voting on that one?
Okay.
All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are you abstaining on one? Okay, the motion carried, but on which one that you abstain?
Yeah.
Motion carries. Number 9, superintendent's report.
Well, I have to take action on item 8.
Consideration to approve the monthly bills.
Oh, yeah. The bills, considering who's gonna,
It's under consent, Mr. Speaker, so
right,
it's
right.
support.
consider to approve superintendent's report.
Yes, sir. For our district enrollment as of March 6, 2026, we were at 1467 in comparison to last year this time, or at least as of December 19th, we were 1584. In terms of attendance, this year, as of March 6, 2026, our attendance is at 92%. And in comparison to this time last year, we were at 91%.
Do you see our enrollment going up, ma'am? Because we did submit an estimate of TEA, and that means that if it's lower than what we submitted, the actual one, that's going to be a settle up.
Right, so our projection is at 1425, and Robert, if I'm not mistaken, the last summary of finance, our projection as of the estimate is at 1383, the one we looked at last week. 1315. Thank you for the clarification.
1315 was a prediction?
No, the 1425 is what we projected. What summary of finance is showing as of last week is 1315. Yes, we have been reporting all year that we have declining enrollment.
Yes.
So 1415 was what was reported?
Projected.
The year before?
Yes, sir.
1425, correct?
Yes, yes.
1425, the budget was calculated at 1367, but it's
coming in at 1315.
dropping, it's now at 13.15.
That's all I have for that.
Business,
Business office reports. Who will be presenting, Mr. Velazquez or Ms. Estrada?
Good evening, Board of
Good evening, Mirna.
Superintendent. We have the reports, are they gonna be in the screen? We have the board reports, the recap, comparison, revenues. The
On page 56 of your packet?
56.
Yes.
It's gonna be the recap, comparison, revenues. Budget. That's all we're gonna look into.
They have it, Mirna.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you all,
Page is it again?
56.
56, okay.
it's gonna be the first one. Board report, recap comparison of revenue to budget. As you can see, it's the same one that I provided the last time. And this is gonna be, it's the same, it's different format. The first one is gonna be by fund. As you can see there on the left side, same data, it includes the same data as the next one. And all of this report includes the general fund with the food service and special revenue funds and the debt service. And this is all funds. The left one, on the left side, you have the funds listed there. In the next column, we have the estimated revenue and current realized revenue, that's as of February. And realized revenue to date, that column is including the current revenue. It's included all of there. And then the next one is revenue balance. And the revenue, you see there, the total revenues at the bottom is at 5,543,136 and 69 cents. That's actual as of February. And year to date is 20,240,813 and 22 cents. And plus the, you can see there the seven, that's the existing, that's the transfers in. As you can see there, the 80,616 and 50 cents. That's the payment for the time warrant, the bonds payments that were done this February the 15th. So that realized revenue brings us to the total revenues for realized for current is 5.6. Realized year to date, you can see there is 20.3. And as you can see there, the debt service, the 599 and the 598, you can see those transactions now that were done in February. And you can see the expenditures there on the bottom and the recap comparison, expenditures and encumbrances to budget. Those are the expenditures. We have encumbrances on that column, which includes those expenditures that already have purchase orders. And we have, the next column is expenditures year to date, as well as the current expenditures are already included in that column on the year to date. So as you can see there, our total expenditure encumbrances, we have as 1,031,775.79. And year-to-date expenditures, you can see there is 80.0. Current expenditures, which is, those are included already in the year-to-date, is 6.2. As you can see, the bond payments for this February, the 15 were 2.5. And As you can see also there, the transfers out, which is the time warrant, the 80,660. And also the transfer results includes the same amount for the health insurance, 633,000, plus the time warrant, the 80,616, which totals to the 70,714. And the next report is the same as these, the data is the same, but it's in a different format. It includes the same accounts, the general funds, the service, special revenues, which are the grants, and the debt service. As you can see, this statement is unaudited revenues and expenditures, budget versus actuals as of the month of February. These expenditures are by function. We have on the top the revenues. For the local revenues collected for the month of February, we have 13,109,819.57. That's the revenue for local, which are the taxes. And the 58, those are the state revenues, which we have received year-to-date actuals, 5,580,208.02. And next we have the federal, the 59, year-to-date actuals, 1,550,785.63. Total revenue collected year-to-date, you can see there is 20,240,813.22. And on the bottom middle section, we have the expenditures, which are by function. As you can see there, the total expenditures, 18.2, which is the same as the the first report. Those are the same data. And it also includes the transfers in and the transfers out, which zero out. Our revenues are listed here as credits, and our expenditures are debits. So those two accounts zero out. And as you can see, the same dollar amount for the operating transfers is 633 as the previous month, which those numbers belong to the health insurance, didn't change. And the difference between the revenues and expenditures, as you can see there at the bottom, is 1 million, which is a credit, which is a good number on all of these accounts. All of the funds is 1,604,795.87. And on the next report, we're gonna see now the breakdown of all of these funds. We're gonna do first the general fund, and the general fund, you're gonna be seeing the transactions only for the general fund, budget versus actuals as of February. The general fund has collected, as you can see there, for the local revenue has collected 9,580,352, which is on the right side, you can see there is the 62% of the total revenue collected for the month year to date. And you can see the state there at the bottom. The revenue collected is 5,162,643.93 which is 33% of the total revenue collected year to date actuals. And on the bottom, we have the federal total revenue for the general fund collected is 15,443,673.54. You can see there on in the middle, we have the expenditures. The total expenditures for the general fund, which includes also the food service. Year-to-date actuals, 13,831,633.02. The difference between the revenues and expenditures is for the general fund it's a credit, 897,103.40. So as you can see there, the general fund has spent 13.3, which is approximately 61% of the overall budget expenditures as of the month of February.
That,
Percent?
61% of the budget.
that's those,
Monday.
so this number is the negative 897 is shown as a positive, right?
Positive.
Does that already include the encumbrances, or does that not subtract the encumbrances?
No, that's year-to-date actual sold expenditure. The encumbrances are listed on the others.
So the encumbrances is 998,000, so those are still bills and things that still need to be
They're
paid.
still pending.
So for this, the actual would have been, I mean, it's like a negative $100,000 practically, right?
Negative is that's a good number since the revenues are negatives.
But the encumbrances exceed that number. So we actually have a deficit of 100 and something
Oh, yes.
thousand in our. And that's the same realized for the rest of the reports you're showing. So for the all funds, even though we show a 1.6 million positive, you know, we still have the encumbrances of 1,031,000, or 1,031,000, you know, so it's,
But if we receive more revenue,
They offset.
yeah, we still have bills to pay, so that number's a lot less than what we have, I mean, numbers in there.
yes, and those encumbrances are as of February. We still have March and we have more encumbrances in March. It's more than 990.
At any point in our yearly projections, have there been a point where the district projects to not have enough money to cover our bills?
Right now, our cash flow is looking into May. Is it our cash flow into May?
I know as part of the submittal that was submitted to TEA that was requested, there was a yearly projection that was submitted. And my memory, if it's, I mean, you know, we saw that there was a projection sometime in April where we were projected to have a negative fund or, you know, not have enough money to cover the bills.
Was, we projected the 1425? Is that?
I'm not too sure what the number is, but I know there was a negative amount of, you know, it started showing red of about $2 million and I took it as we're not going to have enough money to cover all of our bills that are projected.
That was for last year.
Well,
That was for last year. Now for this year, we're looking into May for the cash flow running out of money.
Which is why we reported to you all last month that we had to, that we were beginning the conversation with the bank about the second note.
We're done with the first one.
Monday?
We're done with.
Yes,
the first one.
the first loan has been paid off.
The next page I included the graphs. Those graphs, so you can see it better. You can see the general fund. These are revenues collected year to date. As you can see there, the 57, which are locals, has received more 62%, which are, as you all know, it includes the taxes, local taxes, transportation fees, interest, rental fees, and athletic royalties and donations. And on the 58th estate includes both the FSPs, the foundations, and 59th, they're federal. We have in the general fund the food service, which is the breakfast, the lunch program, and the indirect costs. This is included in that percentage. The next one, we have the general fund expenditure year to date. It's the same data, but now it's in a graph. That way you can see it better, which is, you can see there the instruction, the function 11 has the biggest, say, expenditures. And the next one you can see there is the 61, the plant maintenance and operation, which is the 61. It mainly is because it includes the payroll, the 61%, the hundreds, which is the payroll. That's why you can see a big number. And also if this 51 includes the vehicle and property insurance, which, with an amount of payments that we have done is 502,764. And also this one includes the other utilities, electricity, water bills. So mostly this is why the 51, it's a little bit bigger, and then the next one is 71%, the 71, which is the debt service, the payment that we made to the bank, which is the 1.4. We paid it all, that's the next one in line. The 99, you all know it's the shared services agreement, which is the SPED, the fund, 123. And the 99 is the appraisal, other intergovernmental charges, it's appraisal and collections. And the one that has the function 00, it's other operating transfers, which is the same as the health insurance and the time warrant. That's why it's 714. This data is the same as the report of the INAGRA. As you can budget versus to actuals, this report is the same one as the others. And the next one that I have is the two actuals, but I have the special revenues. I did one for the special revenues only for the grants. So you can see there also our expenditures. Special revenue funds consist of the state and federal. And these are listed, all the funds. As you can see on the first report is the 211s down to the 410s, fund 410. And the state includes the fund 410, as you can see there, which is instructional materials. Year-to-date actuals for that one is 207,630.09. And for the next one is the federal programs, which consist of the other ones, the 200s. The 200s listed in the report. And for that one, we have collected year-to-date actuals, revenues, 850,108. And we have expenditures for the grants, which is, the total revenues is 1.1. And the expenditures for those grants, as you can see, 1.0. The difference is 27,886 for the special revenues collected. And these drawdowns, we do them between the 10 and the 15 of the month. After all the transactions have been done for the previous month, we do the drawdowns, and it takes about 2 to 3 days to receive the reimbursement to refund the general fund.
So with these special revenues, you say they're grant money and state dollars that are coming in the district. I guess we have budgeted in excess of 856,000.
This one is the 410? The 410?
Yes, I mean, you know, the revenues are 1.9 million. Our expenditures is, I guess, 1.989. But our variance, you know, year-to-date actual, so we still have $856,000 to use throughout the year of these funds?
On the 410, we receive the money first and then we expend it. And on the other ones, the 200, we spend it first, the general fund covers that, and then we get the reimbursement, so to refund the reimburse the general fund.
And where does our CTE dollars fall in? Because as part of the audit, you know, we were told that we held $500,000 that we didn't use last year. You know, where does that money lie within the budget?
CTE falls on the 100 funds in the general fund.
Are we gonna
For local-
utilize all that money?
Consider local monies.
State money.
Money.
Will that money be utilized at all this year, or will it be?
We have a lot of encumbrances, it's already accounts and inspected on that one. And it's, you can see it there in the general fund. It's the one, what's the number, Ms. Burns?
If you go, Vince, to page 56, if you go down towards the bottom of the page, all funds, you'll see, do you see 122/6 career and tech? And go all the way across, we've expended 46% of our threshold. Our threshold is 55%. And we're, yes, and we have encumbrances to report.
I have 9% left.
Correct, so that percent should change by the end of, when they bring you the reconciled March expenses.
That's encumbrances of 86,000.
Questions for Mirna?
I'm not done.
Oh, you're not done?
I still need the debt service. I have the debt service, also created another one for the debt service. This debt service includes the 598 and the 599, the time warrant and the debt service, and the activity expenditures. All of these activity expenditures are listed in the Lone Star account. You can see there on the 58 that it doesn't have a budget, but it's the EDA, the 16 debt allotment that we received, but it was not accounted for in the budget, but the money is there. As I told you before, the bonds, we made a payment of 2.5 for the month of February. And the revenue there is 3.6, expenditures 3.0, with a difference of 179,106.28. And the next one, we have the graph. These, I created these, and these, the month tax collection for the month of February. As you can see there, I created prior year and current year for the month of February only. On the left side, you can see current month tax collections. In the middle, we have fiscal year to date collection. And on the bottom, we have the total budget tax revenue, which includes the current, delinquent, and the P&I. And at the bottom, we have the percentage of budget collected. As you can see there, there's a line in the middle. We have prior year and we have current year. On the very far right, you can see the current tax collections for the month of February. The total there you can see is 4,688,111.99, representing, as you can see there, 32% of the levy collected during the month of February, which is approximately, as you can see there at the bottom, 86.41% of the total levy that's been collected through the end of the month of February. Compared to the prior month, February of 2025, we have there 87.97%. And about, as you can see there on the bottom, very far right, about 90.8% of the total budget tax revenue has been realized year to date. Compared to prior year, we had 86.42%
96.
the previous year.
It's 96.
96.
For this month, hopefully it helps you to see the section, and I can bring it over for them.
Just a question on this. Last year, we collected 104.44% of, for the debt service. This year, are we expected to collect only 100%? Or are we gonna exceed?
But the debt service last year, from the budget, it was 104. And right now, for the debt service is 95, from the budget that we have now in the system.
Are we projected to collect more than what we actually need to pay?
We hope so. For the month of March collections, we only received 73. So we are almost at the end of the month and we only have received 73. So we're hoping to receive more.
And that excess fund, or those excess dollars, if we do receive like this 4% last year, what did the district use that, or how was that money used? Was it put back into the pay out the debt service or the debt we had? I mean, part of our audit that was presented last year was that we actually increased our deficit that we owed to the debt service. And we still utilize that money in our budget. Is that the same case now?
Whenever we receive our tax collections, we get a breakdown. Whatever percentage belongs to the general fund, we leave it there. Whatever belongs to the debt service, we transfer it to the debt service. So that money stays in the debt service especially for bank payments.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Questions, anybody? Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Going, item number 10, TIA, update, the teacher initiative.
Hold on, give us a minute, Matthew. So before we move on, we have Dr. Reyna and Mr. Hines that are going to provide an update in the community.
Good evening, Board of Trustees.
Good evening.
Mr. Espinosa, members of the board, and Ms. Briones. Thank you for the opportunity to address you this evening and to the community of Crystal City, ISD. We want to just basically give you an overview of our role here in Crystal City. We are the Texas Education Agency appointed conservators for the school district, and I want to begin by acknowledging your service to the community. Serving on a school board is both an honor and a significant responsibility, and I approach this work with a deep respect for that commitment that you give as the volunteers to serve on this board. My role here, Mr. Hines' role here, is not to replace the board or the superintendent, but to support, guide, and when necessary, ensure that the district operates in full compliance with Texas law and in the best interest of all students. Very briefly, I want to tell you the purpose of this conservatorship. The appointment of a conservator is by Texas Education Agency, and they have in fact appointed 2 conservators. It reflects serious and sustained concerns regarding both the academic performance of the district and the operational systems within the district. Specifically, the district is facing 2 very serious and major concerns. One is the academic accountability concern that we have. Specifically, and Mr. Hines will address the academic concerns, specifically the repeated F accountability ratings at Benito Juarez Elementary School. The second one are the financial and governance concerns. In addition to the academic challenges, the recent audit indicates a need for strong internal controls and a balanced, sustainable budget. The third reason is board governance. And I want you to understand that we train all of or formulate all of our plans around the Effective Schools framework. And board governance is that area that we are focusing in when we talk about this. And the priority here is to strengthen fiduciary and oversight responsibilities of the board. So when the budget is presented to you, or the expectation for expending monies to buy whatever, or to assign whatever, or to hire whomever, that you all as board members are fully aware of the implications for those decisions, because you are the decision makers of the district. And so therefore you have to literally know what is it that you're approving, so that when they are expended, that the staff is doing what they're supposed to be doing to keep this district fiduciarily responsible. The fourth area is continuous improvement systems. And that is, again, establishing monitoring systems for both the academics and for the operations. And we hope here to implement data-driven decision-making, regular progress monitoring, whether it's academic progress monitoring or financial progress monitoring, and also have clear accountability structures so that everyone knows, including our community, knows what's being spent, why is it that we're doing this, how is it that we're doing this, and can we please get everyone together on the same page in the best interest of students. And we have what we're going to call a 30-day plan, a 60-day plan, and a 90-day plan. And initially, we're going to conduct a review of the elementary school, that we're going to look at instructional practices, leadership capacity, and student performance data, and Mr. Hines will go more into detail with that. Then we really are talking about how is it that we are going to initiate or reinitiate board governance training. As I interviewed you all, and I really enjoyed our conversations last week, that we really need to kind of revisit some of those expectations as board members about how is it that we govern and what are the kinds of questions that we need to ask or that you need to ask as those elected members of the community to represent them in the school system. Days 31 to 60 or thereabouts, we hope to provide some control and compliance, implementing targeted campus improvement plans, rebuilding the district's budget aligned to actual revenues, implementing internal financial controls and monitoring systems, and begin formal reporting aligned to TEA requirements. Then we want to talk about systemization, days 61 through days 90. How is it that we establish those sustainable instructional systems at the campus level? How is it that we develop a multi-year financial plan? How is it that we implement performance-based budgeting? Also, institutionalized board oversight and monitoring practices. You all are the ones that have the authority to ask the questions and to receive the answers. And we want the staff to be well prepared to be able to help you all make those critical and crucial decisions that you have to make. So the expectations of the board, what is it that we want from you? Is to continue to maintain your focus on student outcomes. Every single one of you, when I spoke with you last week, had at the center of your conversations how important it was to do what is right by children, what is right to do for this community, and your primary focus was on the students. And that was very, very inspirational for me to hear, because as a group of individuals, you have your hearts and your minds in the right place. Exercising strong fiduciary responsibility means making some hard decisions. Making some hard decisions about what we're going to spend money on, what you all are going to approve to spend money on, and what cannot be. Because again, if the goal is to be fiduciarily responsible and sound as a school system so that you can continue as a school system, we have to prioritize those financial decisions to support and establish those compliance regulations. Again, to operate within the governance best practices. You all are a governing board. You set the policy for the way the district operates. It's not management. It's not to go tell someone what to do and how to do it. It literally is governance. You have one employee, and that employee is the superintendent. And that superintendent then goes and deals with the staff. Monitoring outcomes. What is it that we said we were going to do? How are we doing it? What do we need to change? Etc. That's, again, in the purview of the board. And then, again, avoid operational interferences. We need you to support the corrective action efforts that we will recommend. Because when we make recommendations, we're aligning them to the TEA requirements. We're also demonstrating to you the commitment to systemic improvement, but we're also not taking away your responsibility to make those decisions. But we want you to have all the information and all the rationale necessary to make a sound decision. And again, a commitment to moving forward. We have urgent academic needs here at the school district. We also have critical financial and governance systems that need to be shored up. So again, we are about making sure that students succeed, making sure that our systems function effectively, and making sure that the leadership running this school district is accountable. Because in essence, again, we want what is best for the children of this school district, and this is the governing body to help them. So I hope that you will entrust me and trust Mr. Hines to help you along the way. We're not here to replace you. We're not here to do any of that. Just to give you some little bit of comfort, I've been doing this for a very long time. I have had 37 years of public school experience, having retired from Dallas Independent School District as the second in command for 160,000 student population school district. So as far as the governance structures, as far as the fiduciary responsibilities, organizational systems, I think that I can help you in those areas. I also have continued my experiences by teaching at UT Austin in the superintendent preparation program there as an adjunct professor. So I think that we have the resources together, we have the will to do it, and just listening to you all, there's a will to do what we need to do, and I hope that you will entrust us to help you all do that. I do want to give the podium to Mr. Hines, who himself is the academic guru here. We have those expectations of the board, and we have them both, like I said, instructional as well as fiscal and governance. So I'm going to have Mr. Hines also introduce himself.
I think she said most of it, but good evening, board members, superintendent, district staff, parents, community members. My name is John Hines, and I am honored to serve as the academic conservator for Crystal City ISD. I want to start by acknowledging that my presence here represents both serious challenges and a strong belief in the district's potential. The goal of this work is not compliance for compliance sake. It's about ensuring that every student in this district receives the quality education they deserve. By way of background, I've spent 30 years in public education, serving as a teacher, assistant principal, with a strong focus on instructional improvement, campus support, and student outcomes. That experience shapes how I approach this role with urgency, clarity, and collaboration. As the academic conservator, my responsibility is to support, guide, and when necessary, direct academic actions to improve student performance. This includes ensuring that academic plans are implemented with fidelity, that campuses receive the support they need, and that decisions remain centered on students. This role works with the board and the superintendent, not against them, and always in service of student success. There are two overarching goals of the conservatorship: that Benito Juarez campus earns an A, B, or C by the end of next year, and that the district moves up one letter grade from where it is right now. I want to be very clear, this work cannot be done in isolation. Sustainable improvement happens when the board and the superintendent and the staff and the community are aligned around a shared purpose. I deeply respect the commitment many of you have shown to the district and under certain difficult circumstances. My expectation and my promise is to approach this work with professional respect, transparency, and consistency. There will be moments of challenge, but also moments of progress worth celebrating. Everything we do moving forward will be anchored in a few core questions. Do we know the performance level of every student every day on every skill? Do we know the quality of instruction for every teacher for every lesson every day? Are our decisions improving teaching and learning? And are we building systems that will outlast this intervention? When we stay focused on these questions, even the hard conversations become productive, and even difficult changes become meaningful. In closing, I want the community to know this. This work is about strengthening the district by building human capacity and building sustainable systems. The ultimate goal is to build capacity, restore confidence, and ensure the district can sustain success long after the conservatorship is successfully completed. I look forward to working alongside you, listening carefully, and keeping students at the center of every decision we make together. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Do it out
Thank
for
you.
if you have any questions of us, now that we're here for the community to hear.
No, I just,
Go ahead.
I just want to welcome you out of Crystal City first. As a new board member, I welcome this, to help us as a district as one. When I came onto the board, it was, it's a eye-opening experience of what was going on in the district behind closed doors or behind the curtain, as you could say. I don't see this as a bad thing. I see it as a good experience for us that the district can learn, and so that our staff can better themselves as well. Hopefully take some learning from a very experienced principal, very experienced individuals like yourselves, and us as a board with all the experience and knowledge y'all have. welcome these next 30, 90 days. I don't know exactly how long it's going to be, but thank you for coming and trying to help us out. And
Thank you. And if we don't know the answers, we'll find them for you.
Well, the conservatorship is for 2 years.
okay.
So just to piggyback off of Board Member Martinez, I also welcome you. We had a very great conversation, Dr. Reyna, so at first I was very skeptical, but having after that conversation, I felt very comfortable. So, I mean, thank you for being here, and I want to learn as much as I can and then have that good experience and then also to improve our decision-making and turn this district around. So thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, thank you. Ours is, like I said, ours is to be of service to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we go now to item 10, the update on the teacher initiative allotment.
Good evening, board. I know it wasn't in your board packet, but it is what I handed out. We're gonna start off with the teacher incentive allotment. I just wanna give you guys a brief update on where we're at and the process that we've gone through. So in front of you is the actual application that I'm going to submit once we go through it tonight. I'm gonna submit it tomorrow morning. I've already gone over it with Region 20. I always forget which region it is, the one in Lubbock up there. We've kind of gone through it over to make sure that we're all on the same page and we all meet and we've all met, the criteria and everything that we've gone. So on that first page, you can see the TIA lead. So you can see I am the district's TIA lead, with Juan being my backup, along with being in charge of any IT needs that we may need as well. We're just going to go through this part kind of quickly. This is just kind of the information part that you guys already know about our district. This is about our region center. We did get some help with our region senior ESE 20 out of San Antonio. And they've helped us with our system development, our application review, and our logistical support. The big part that I really want to show you all is going to be the waiting tab. It's going to be the one that's sideways. It looks like this. One more page down. That one right there. So this is the waiting tab. So this is where we saw a major change. So as you guys are aware, our TIA plan did not get approved for the second year, which is why we as a district, we met and we decided as a committee to change that plan. So how did we change that plan? We made our plan a star-only plan because we were able to see that a lot of the skew came out of the iStation data. It just wasn't matching what we were seeing along the way. So we made the decision as a committee to remove the iStation and go with star-only. So you can see we once had 4 categories. We had a category for iStation reading, iStation math, star reading, and then the nonlinear subjects. We did remove iStation reading and iStation math, and now we have category 1, which is our reading and math, which is going to cover 4th grade reading, language arts, all the way through English 2, and 4th grade math to algebra 1. Then we have category 2, which is 3rd grade math and 3rd grade reading. As we all know, they don't have that's the first year that they take a star. So in TIA, we measure previous year, but since this category, there is no previous year, we use a beginning of the year benchmark, which is ultimately the released star test from the year before. And those are for like what I mean by nonlinear, I mean elementary science. Elementary science covers 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade along the lines, but they're only tested in 5th grade, correct? So they don't have a previous year test. Along the same ways, we have the middle school science, which is 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Again, they're tested in 8th grade only. So the last time they would have tested a science grade was in 5th grade. So that's why we don't see, we only see it in 8th grade again. And then of course, we also have it for 8th grade social studies as well, because that's the first time they test social studies, 11th grade social studies, and biology. So those are the subjects that are going to be in category 2. And all of those are going to be given a benchmark at the beginning. Usually we do it within the first 9 weeks of school. And they take the test, they score it, and then at the end of the year, we compare it to their end of year scores at the however they scored on STAR. So that was the major change. We did get rid of 2 categories, and we met as a committee. It was voted upon. I was a non-voting member. So we led it amongst the committee, and the committee, if you, you'll see the committee in just a minute. It is comprised of teachers from DTR, LDZ, VJ, all the campuses, and you can see how everything was pretty much unanimous almost all the time. It was unanimous most of the time because the committee really came to the point where they were really like, they wanted to make sure that at least somebody got it. Even if I didn't get it, I wanted to make sure somebody in my community got it, which kind of tells us what we do, the teachers that we have here in Crystal City. One of the other changes that we saw is we previously had our T-tests weight 30% and growth 70%. After meeting with the Region Center, they recommended that we lower that because that was giving us skew as well. So we lowered it to 50-50, meaning that a teacher has to have met at minimum a 3.7 on T-tests and a 55% growth to be considered recognized. A teacher must have a minimum of 3.9 with a growth of 60 to be considered exemplary, and a 4.5 with a minimum growth score of 70 to be considered a master teacher. So those are the categories that has been made up front. We have presented this. This was what the committee decided. We haven't presented it to the district because we wanted to present it to you first. We wanted to make sure that you guys were the first to hear it, and then now that we're here, we'll be able to present it out to the campuses. And for category 1, it is going to be, we're still on the waiting page. It is going to be the TEA star transition table. It's the growth model that we've seen before, the one that has the tables, and it shows, student was high, did not meet last year. This year they got meets, they showed growth. We're going to use those for category 1, and then for category 2, like I said, we're going to be creating district determined growth levels. And then the rest of this application is really just kind of going through. You can see we didn't remove any teaching we did remove teaching assignments. I'm sorry. So for example, we had to remove the kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade teachers. So we did remove them. We didn't, however, remove any of the campuses. So all of the campuses will still be eligible. So by next year, our goal is to hopefully implement a new system. We have already discussed it. We were looking to see if we can move into the map growth, which you probably have heard. So that way we can start implementing the lower grade levels as well. We want to bring them back in, but right now we really just want to, it's been 2 years and we've had teachers qualify, and we, based off of SKU, we just haven't made it. We feel like this plan is going to limit the SKU, so that way we can at least get some teachers starting to see, hey, it is possible to get teachers qualified. So again, we didn't remove any of the campuses because if we did, we would have had to have brought it back and gone through that whole process again. So we left them in the plan. Right now, there's just no categories for those teachers to qualify. And then if you turn to this page, you can actually see the committee. So this is the committee, and it has the dates that we met. It's not like we met just once. We've actually met 3 times. The first time was when we discussed the plan. The very first time when I spoke to you all about the first time at TIA, that's when we met. And then we've met mostly here in the spring to kind of discuss and change the plan and make it improve it so that way we can make sure we get some teachers qualified in October. And like I said, this was really just a quick little update that I wanted to bring up to you guys, just so that way you can see that we did make changes. We are trying to make teachers qualify for the TIA. Hopefully over the next couple of years, we'll be able to bring back those elementary grade levels along, as well as open up those CTE courses, those other courses that, elective courses that aren't included in our plan as of yet, but our plan is to hopefully grow this plan so that way we can get as many teachers as we can. Is there any questions?
Yes, may I ask one? Sir, did you guys depend just on Region 20 for the training, or I've attended those SLIs, and I know I went to a couple of workshops dealing with TIA, and one of them was presented by a teacher from that district, and the district is pretty very, very successful in getting their teachers rewarded, and so they were willing to talk to any district representative so they can show what they've done to get to that level, because So far, we haven't been approved.
Yes, I did. I've actually been, I've also been attending some TIA trainings specifically, and we've met with some of those districts that have qualified teachers. I've also been reaching out to, our neighboring districts. We had, Catula did qualify some teachers. We've reached out that way. I've reached out to Crystal City, Carrizo Springs, and we've talked, kind of what their process is. I have reached out, when it comes to the Region Center, I didn't just rely on Region 20. I can never, like I said, I can't remember what region it is, but it's that Lubbock region, which is like the guru, Region 8, it's the guru for TIA. And that's the one that they really kind of guided us, and they helped us with our SKU plan, and they kind of helped us identify the SKU, because the data is the data. The students are qualifying and we're getting what we're getting. The issue is when it came to T-test and the data, they weren't talking. Our T-test was saying, our rating our teachers exemplary, but our students' performance was at recognized. And so they weren't talking. So, that's really where we're going to focus on. The Region Center is really adamant that they really want to make sure that we're calibrating and we're doing all the activities that we are doing already, but making sure that we're calibrating across the district, regardless of, if it's Miss Houston or Miss Lopez or Mr. Alvarado going into a classroom, they're seeing the same thing and they're rating it the same way. And it's not like one is going to rate it a 5 and one's going to rate it a 1. They're going to rate honestly going around and making sure that that's really where the issues were lying when it came to ours. It wasn't so much the data, because if you look at our plan, we have teachers who qualified, but the SKU was just too much for the TIA to approve.
On the second tier, it talks about who sets the expected growth targets. And we have district created. Has TIA already reviewed what we were gonna use?
So the district created, what it means is, so the way that it works is the students take the boy and then they're put it into quintiles. And then at the end of the year, they take their end of the year and they're put into quintiles. So based off of the gross, I'm going to say Matthew's in quintile 1 and he scored a 10. And the average of the group was a 10. And then in the spring, he scored a 15 and the average was a 15. So they grew 5. So as long as every individual in there grows a certain amount, so that's why we can't set them yet, because they're not set until after the scores come in. And so once the scores come in, we look and we see the quantile scores, and this quantile group, everyone in this quantile is expected to grow 3 points. I'm just going to make up a number, and we're going to look at Matthew, and Matthew grew 3 points. Check mark. He's credited for getting the teacher's credited. So that's kind of how it works. It's not like an actual set number. Like you can set a number and say like, okay, every student has to grow 25 points. But the way that the district had been doing it before is we use the beginning of the year and the end of the year. And that's kind of why we have a pre-test and a post-test.
Was there any discussion into utilizing some of the other growth measures, whether it's portfolios or any of the value-added measures?
We did bring that up, but right now the recommendation from both region centers was really just to stick to those third-party vendors. Those third-party vendors really allow us to make sure that there is limited SKU. Because once we start opening up to portfolios and the SLOs and the value-added measures, the SKU it opens up a little bit. And right now it's been 3 years already and we haven't passed anything. So right now, like I said, our goal is just to get as the most teachers we can right now with our plan, because if not, we're gonna, we don't want to end up in the same boat next year and, still have a SKU. But yes, we did look into it and we are open to adding. But for right now, we said, let's just kind of keep it simple, because they started, the more bells and whistles you add, the more SKU you have. And so, that's kind of where we're at right now. We just wanted to make sure let's get one teacher to qualify, and then we, from there we can start adjusting our plan. Any other questions?
I appreciate you bringing this. I think it's a win-win for the kids, the teachers, the district. I mean, scores go up, teacher incentives go up. Everything's right about it.
Yes, I 100% agree, and I'm very appreciative of Mr. Alvarado. He kind of helped me along the way. He kind of guided me on which, where we need to go and what we needed to add and where we were at and what our scores were. So I'm very appreciative for him. It's kind of been a collaborative effort, especially once we meet in those committees. The committees are very open to getting a teacher, and even if it's not themselves, it's getting a teacher to qualify, because they know that the teachers here in Crystal City ISD definitely deserve it. And I know everyone in this room thinks our teachers deserve it. No, our teachers deserve it. And this is just hopefully, we're crossing our fingers in October when we get there, that we can get some teachers to qualify.
Just one more thing. I just see, questions not answered, hopefully when you.
Yeah, some of them were no, and when you put no, like you don't have to answer the rest, and so that's why they're not answered yet. But yeah, I noticed that too. I was like, why are they circled? But it's because if there's a no, we don't have to answer the rest. All right, so that's TIA. Okay. So next, I'm going to present our spring benchmark scores. I'm going to go by campus. As you can see, this year, one of the major differences that we did between our benchmark scores and our interim from the fall is, as you guys remember, in the fall, I reported interim scores. Interims are scores, are tests that were created by Cambium, created by TEA, issued on Cambium. However, we felt they weren't to the level of rigor that we needed our students. Our students weren't experiencing the full level test. So what we decided to do is we decided to not give an interim in the spring, but instead give a full-blown benchmark, which was a release STAR test, and it was a release STAR test from last year. So all our students took their respective STAR tests from last year. So if you were a biology student this year, you took last year's biology test. So we can kind of see a little bit more, and the students were able to see a full-blown, because for example, on the reading and writing, they weren't able to actually do the writing portion, and we know that's a big portion of the test now on the interim, but on the full-blown benchmark, they were able to do a writing, we were able to see an essay. So that's just kind of a little bit of a difference that I want to preface before we kind of looking at the interim. And the interim is also a projection. The benchmark is the actual score. That's where they're at. Interim was a projection, the benchmarks are the actual scores. So I'm going to start with third grade math. Third grade math is a 66% compared to a 62 in the fall, meaning they grew about 4 points in approaches. And I'm going to report approaches first, and then we're going to move into meets and masters. And then reading, they were also at 66%, which grew 14% from the fall. If we look at meets, we're at 32% and 34% respectively. At masters, we're at 8% and 14%. And that is at Lorenzo de Zavala, those are the grade levels that are tested. At Zavala, you can see we did see some growth in the approaches. We did see a little bit of a dip in the meets, but I know, like I said, this did include a writing, especially on the writing on the writing test. So it's something that the kids are, for the most part, probably saw for one of the very first few times. So we were expecting kind of seeing that as well. And then, of course, we need to move to masters, because our goal in this district has always been getting the kids to meets and then ultimately moving them to masters. As we move into fourth grade, so fourth grade, we see a dip in 38%, to 38%, so it's a dip of 14 in fourth grade math and approaches, 15% at meets, and 5% at masters. And I know this is one of the areas that Mr. Alvarado has really been working on, and Ms. Briones, and even Mr. Hines, they've been really working on that fourth grade math, trying to figure out, what can we do to help increase that percentage score? Because, that's one of the concerning ones that we see in fourth grade math. In fourth grade reading, we see an increase in 28% to 79% in approaches in fourth grade reading, 46% at meets, and 20% at masters. At fifth grade math, we saw it stay consistent at 69%, 34% at meets, and 9% at masters. At fifth grade reading, we did see an increase of 13% to 65%, 43% at meets, and 17% at masters. Grade 5 science, we saw an increase of 33% to 61%, 12%, and 1% at masters. These are the BJ scores, so this is our high focus campus. This is what we're seeing. This is what we're hoping. We're really working with that fourth grade math. We did see we are making adjustments. On pace. They're doing the review. They're getting ready for the test. So we're hoping to see that the fourth grade math improve, so that we can help the overall rating of Benito Juarez Elementary. If we flip the page, we can see Sterling H. Fly Junior High. Sterling H. Fly Junior High, we see an increase of 3% to 47% in approaches for sixth grade math, 9% at meets, 1% at masters. At sixth grade reading, we have an increase of 8%, I don't know why I put 3. 8% to approaches, 58% at approaches, 35% at meets, 29% at masters. Seventh grade reading, this was our concerning level. If you remember in the fall, that was our lowest one overall. We did see an increase, however, it's not as big as an increase that we wanted. I know this is intervention. They kind of adjusted their schedule to address this issue. They kind of put more intervention in this class as well, because we are at a 22% at approaches, 2% at meets, and 0% at masters. Seventh grade reading, we saw an increase of 3% to 56%, 37% meets, and 11% masters. Our Algebra 1, we were able to get that last 4% to improve it to 100%, 76% meets, and 38% masters. I believe it's 22 kids that are taking a grade 8 Algebra 1. So those 22 kids are all at passing as of right now. We do have 8th grade math. I do want to preface this also includes our advanced grade 7 math students. So we have students in grade 7 who are advanced. At the end of this school year, they'll be taking the grade 8 math, so they're in this category as well. So we did see an increase of 15% to 67% in approaches, 25% meets, 0% masters. In 8th grade reading, we saw an increase of 4% to 71% in approaches, 33% meets, 10% masters. Grade 8 science, we saw an increase of 2% to 54%, 28% meets, 5% masters. Grade 8 social studies, 46%. Approaches, 17% meets, 5% masters. And that is at Fly. So again, the key areas here that we're going to really focus on is that 7th grade math. That 7th grade math is really going to be one of our key areas that we need to focus on. And then we're going to jump to Crystal City High School. At Crystal City High School, we saw a decrease of 5% to Algebra 1, and I know Ms. Houston has already addressed that. We're PLCing with she's PLCing with the Algebra 1 teacher. They're giving him an RTI class. You know, we're addressing that drop, so that way we can hopefully improve those numbers, especially get those meets and masters up, because I know our goal is to get as many meets and masters as we can. English 1, we did see a decrease in 56% at approaches, 34% at meets, 3% at masters. English 2, we saw an increase of 9% to 61%, 41% at meets, 1% at masters. Biology, we saw an increase of 11% to 92%, 54% in meets, and 12% at masters. U.S. history, we saw a dip in 88%, a decrease of 38%, and a master's at 10%. Goal right now, we should hopefully, knock on wood, see a distinction in biology. That's the goal. Those kids have been working hard. They're mad at me right now, but it's okay. No pressure, but they earned a distinction. They're gonna get it. So you know that's our goal. But yes, so those are our benchmark scores that we saw overall in February. Like I said, everybody's working on. Everybody has plans. Everybody is working. Everybody should be getting ready to do their rock interview. To hopefully start working our way, and you know, before we know it, STAR will get here. STAR will be testing April 8th and 9th, 15th and 16th, 21st and 22nd. Those will be the days that we'll be testing our STAR kiddos. And you know, all our hard work will pay off. I know it. Especially all the hard work that they're doing at Benito Juarez. So they're definitely gonna reap the benefits of all the work that they've been doing. And all our campuses, everyone will be doing well. So, if you have any questions.
What would our accountability look like if these were the scores that were submitted?
So if these were the scores that were committed, because we're seeing low numbers in meets and masters, I believe every campus with the exception of high school was an F. So we saw LDZ at an F, we saw BJ at an F, we saw Fly at an F, and then we saw Crystal City High School at a C, at about a 72.
Questions for?
So good luck to the staff and good luck to the teachers.
Thank you, Matthew.
Okay, on item number C, this is, I submitted my letter of resignation as president of the Board of Crystal City Independent School District. I discussed this with Ms. Reina and told her why I was submitting right now. I mean, I've been traveling a lot with my grandkids. We were in Kingsville last year. We're heading Javelin next year, and some other important things that. And the thing with, I know how much you're gonna help us, and we're here to help us. Then, I mean, we're gonna have to be hiring a new superintendent very soon, and to me, that's gonna be like a regression type of thing. I mean, we don't know where we're getting. I don't know how much time it's gonna take. I know Mr. Rena's been doing a good job, Benito Juarez, and you'll continue to do a good job, Benito Juarez. For last day, is, I think, next week on the 7th. And so that's not completely the thing. The thing is, I mean, I have other important things to do, and I don't feel that this time I can, do the job that requires, as a board president. I mean, I'll continue to be a board member, and I'll do, everything that I can to, work with you all, and whatever you presented to us, what go as far as, trying to help move the, district in that right direction financially and all that. So, with that, all the board members have,
If I may make a comment, sir. I believe that if possible, maybe here among the board members, I know you submitted your resignation, you're committed to it, I understand. But right now, there's only 6 of us.
we're gonna table it so that,
Okay, well, we can't table it.
well, no, when we get to the reorganization of the board, I was gonna
say, stick around as a board president until we have our next meeting where whole
yeah.
board will be here, and then we can deal with.
Yeah, I mean, I can do that, but I was gonna reckon on the receipt. I mean, unless, I mean, there's a majority of somebody else, that we table it until we have the 7 board members.
That's all I wanted to mention.
Next thing on the agenda is the 11, discussion action to approve the instructional calendar, 26, 27.
If you want to come up, the recommendation for this specific action item is that the Board of Trustees approve the 26-27 instructional calendar. Mrs. Garcia will entertain questions about the process.
So our process for the calendar is that we drafted the calendars A and B. I called forth our DSPDM committee. We reviewed, and you have in front of you the agenda and the sign-in sheet for the meeting. I presented the calendars A and B, explained the difference between the calendars, explained the number of minutes, and there was a unanimous vote for calendar A. We put these 2 up before survey for the entire district, and we put it through Google Forms. And staff had, I believe, 2 days to make their selections, A or B. And if you look on page 68, 73.1 of staff members selected calendar A, and 26.9 selected calendar B. I did include the timestamps of which, with which every single member that participated, because we only received 134 responses, where each person made their selection. But as you can see, they selected calendar A.
I have a question. I mean, I know we approved the calendar around this time. Well, sometimes, but by the time we get into almost the beginning of the school year or May, we make other changes. Have you looked into all that, or it's impossible really to predict?
We had some extra time left over, or we went over the 75,600 minutes, so there is wiggle room in case we need to. I would say that we need to save those days for broken pipe, for a rainy day, for a freeze, a late start. We also have to make sure that we have enough minutes for those, just in case.
No, need a lot of days for broken pipes.
Does our spring break coordinate with the junior college?
Yes, I believe.
For the kids?
Yes.
Okay.
So what's the recommendation?
The recommendation is that the Board of Trustees approve the 26-27 instructional calendar as presented by Mrs. Garcia.
Do you have a motion?
That would be A, right?
Calendar A.
So move, sir.
Motion by Mr. Bonilla, second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Espinosa, questions, concerns? Not all in favor? Vote 7-0.
6-0.
6-0, sorry.
Thank you.
B, discussion, action to authorize Crystal City ISD staff to solicit proposals for permanent superintendent services, Ms. Bonilla.
The recommendation is that the Board of Trustees authorize the CCISD staff to solicit proposals for permanent superintendent search services.
Do we have a motion?
That's all it is, right? It's just, we're gonna be putting out requests for proposals for the search
Yes, sir.
services.
Yes, sir.
You have a question?
No, I'll make the motion.
Okay, make a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second? Mr. Bonilla? On the questions, who is going to be Crystal City ISD staff?
It will be, once we are authorized to look for proposals, we're going to bid it out. So it's going to follow the bidding process. So it'll involve the business department. While I'm still here, myself, and then Dr. Reina, if she is going to be part of the process.
Okay,
Yes.
it's going to be part of the process.
Will Region 20 TASB be contacted to provide proposals as
Yes,
well?
after board approval, yes, sir.
Another question, will local superintendents that have been here before, will they be able to apply?
I would not think, I mean, I don't know why they would not be able to, yes.
But that would be later.
First, we're gonna look for proposals.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if they want to come back as superintendents, once we do the proposals, not right now.
Once the application,
The applications
once
and they
vacancies are
apply or-
posted and applications are posted, yes, sir.
Okay, got a motion?
We got the motion, second.
You have
You
a
have a
first and a second.
No, I'm good.
All in favor? Okay, motion carries. Number C, we'll make a motion to table for second.
Sorry, I make the motion that we table the items 11C, simply because to give the courtesy to one of the members that's not here, so they can also be able to participate in the reorganization. We can, I guess, either have a special meeting or at the next regular meeting, as long as all 7 members are present. But that is my motion to table.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Questions, concerns?
I'd like to enter an alternate motion. I move that the Board of Trustees table the item to a special meeting posted next Monday and make the postings.
Do we have time for next Monday?
No, it would have to be,
We would have to post Tuesday, we have to post tomorrow in order to schedule the
we
meeting
would
for
post
Monday.
tomorrow, we would be able to, we would be good for Monday.
Yeah.
For a special, if we post tomorrow.
Okay, do we have a second for the alternate motion? Second? All in favor for Mr. Martinez's motion? Against?
Abstain.
Okay. Carries, and this will be, what date?
March 30th.
March 30th. That's what, Monday or,
That would be a Monday, yes, sir.
a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Second, motion by Mr. O'Neill, second by Mr. Martinez, all in favor? Hey,
Aye.